Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Adrian Scrase, CTO of ETSI, and also playing an active role in the running of the partnership project 3GPP. And I view life from a standards body, of course, and in particular looking at what's happening with 5G and whether 5G really will make a difference for IoT. Now, I remember back in 2014, it was Ericsson who predicted that by 2018, the number of IoT connected devices would exceed the number of mobile subscriptions. And at the time, that was a very bold prediction. Did it come true? Well, actually in 2018, there were just over 9 billion IoT connected devices and 7.9 billion mobile subscriptions. So yes, that prediction did come true. And if we look at the rate of growth of IoT devices, it's inevitable that we're heading towards massive deployment of IoT. It's just a matter of where, when, and how. But if we look at today's need, and this has already been mentioned, I think, by Huawei, we have two very good technologies, narrowband IoT and LTE-M, both of which are more or less doing today what we need to get done today. So the technologies we have in place satisfy today's needs. That's no reason to be complacent, because we know that the needs are evolving very quickly. But there is still a long way to go for those existing technologies before we get carried away with what 5G will offer. But there are emerging use cases where you do want ultra reliability, low latency. You will have to deal with massive volume. And these are the things that are being specifically addressed in the 5G portfolio of standards. If you do go massive, and by massive we mean 1 million devices per square kilometre, that's our definition of massive. There are certain things, basic things, that you have to take into account. And if there is no data that the device needs to send, then the device shouldn't send any data, because any unnecessary data in a massive context will just add extreme load to the network. More importantly, if all of the devices were to provide an update at the same point in time, your networks will crash. Consider smart electricity meters. If all of the smart electricity meters in the city provide the update at the same point in time, the network just isn't going to cope. So you have to have standardized measures to randomly distribute the way in which IoT devices provide their demand to the network. And of course, in a massive context, you still need to be able to address and name these devices. Well, until now, we've not really had a convincing need for IP version 6, but if ever there was one, I think that need is now, because if you're talking about billions and billions of devices, you don't have a better mechanism to address them than IP version 6, at least for the time being. One thing we have learned as a standards body is that IoT is not easy. It's not like delivering voice, and there are certain things that you have to know if you're trying to write standards and deliver service to IoT customers that are very different to the manner in which you would say deliver voice. You need to very well understand the processes of your end customer. What is your end customer? What does he do? What does he make? What do his end processes look like? What technologies is your end customer using? You need to be pretty good at software development. You need to be pretty good at hardware development, and you need to understand connectivity. So, to summarise on that part of it, I mean, getting IoT to market is much, much harder than getting voice to market. One thing I would add to, of course, is that many of the end users will have specific security requirements. They must have absolute trust in the service that we are going to provide to them. If we're thinking of banking or health, automotive, industry automation, these are critical applications where if there is any lack of trust in the underlying service delivery, then we will fail in our endeavour to deliver IoT. So why do I think that 5G will make a difference? Well, if we look at 4G, 3G, 2G and 1G, none of those generations were designed with IoT in mind. Even narrowband IoT and LTE-M, these were afterthoughts. We'd long since delivered 4G when all of a sudden we thought, well, wouldn't it be a good idea if we could meet the needs of IoT users? So with 5G, we have the first instance where the system design is made with IoT explicitly in mind to deliver ultra reliability, low latency, low power consumption, to deliver massive deployments and with improved security. So the takeaway from me is, yes, 5G is going to make a big difference because it's explicitly designed to deliver what it is we're trying to achieve. And the good thing is that's nothing new. We've had coexistence in voice and data networks from 2G. So we've always had to have drop back to legacy networks. We always have to cope with the fact that not all of the networks in use are the ones that we specify. Wi-Fi has a huge role to play in IoT connectivity. So we have to have very clever ways in which the mobile cellular networks interact with Wi-Fi and its component parts. But that's nothing new. That's been there for many, many years. It's also important that we don't work in isolation. So we have very, very good relationships with the other technology developers to make sure that we don't deliver an island. You know, we do deliver this mesh connectivity, which won't always be using the technologies that we have specified. But maybe one point I should add, which is wearing my ETSI hat rather than my 3GPP hat, is that one thing we have noticed is that delivering service to these very differing vertical industry sectors is problematic because they all have quite different specificities. So we have developed this platform, one end-to-end platform, which we believe is ideally placed to enable an operator to work with these different vertical industry sectors, but by service integration through a common platform. So from our potential, we think that's a very good way forward. I mean, with a project like 3GPP, where we have 46 countries currently contributing to those standards, it's inevitable you will have specificities from countries and regions that have certain regulatory requirements. And that's no different than when we were developing voice or SMS or data. So we're very used to having local conditions to meet. What we try and do, though, is not have solutions that are bespoke for each country, because if you do that, you will lose the economy of scale. What we have to try and do is assimilate all of the needs and specificities of the different participants in the standards group and try and come up with an umbrella that meets all of those needs. So we're really trying to avoid having sort of local standards, because once you do that, the entire economy of scale is lost. And what we've said with IoT is economy of scale is everything. We don't get this economy of scale, we're down to clouds. So it comes back to what I said, that IoT isn't easy. You really have to understand how IoT is being deployed and used by your end customer. You need to understand the regulatory environment and specific needs, and then try and craft a standard that meets the needs of all the players.